Okay, kids, we're moving!
No! 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 No!
Let's try that again. Okay, kids, we're moving! Moving with kids. Okay, so sometimes moving can be more exciting, like you're moving to a bigger house or a more upscale neighborhood, or you're moving to a lake or something really fun and exciting. But sometimes moving can also be you're downscaling, you're moving to a smaller place, you're just moving to a different place that's, far away from their school and their friends. Or sometimes it's really not so exciting, like parents are getting divorced and it's difficult for the kids. So whatever the case, there's a lot involved in every move. And in general, I find that there's the emotional aspect and, of course, the physical aspect. When it comes to the emotional aspect, there's a lot involved for your children. They might be leaving their friends, they might be leaving their old school where they're comfortable. What if they're leaving grandparents behind? Sometimes, even if they're going to somewhere exciting, they might be a little bit worried. What's it going to be like making friends in this new place? What's the school going to be like? Am I going to like the teachers or am I going to like the neighborhood? So there's a lot emotionally going on for your children. It's so important to keep the lines of communication open between you and your child. Especially when you yourself discuss things in an open manner. Oh, I'm excited about this, that, and the other, but I'm a little bit concerned about this, or I'm thinking about these topics. What do you think? Somehow to open the lines of communication so that your kid will start feeling like, yeah, I also feel that way. I'm also excited about the move, but I'm a little bit worried at what it's going to be like in a new neighborhood. So that they can start telling you, because when their worries are stuck inside of them, that creates, trapped emotions. When they're able to discuss them freely, it's really gonna help a lot. Opening the lines of communication is the #1 most important thing. Here's some other ideas, tips that I did with my kids when we moved to a new neighborhood, to a new city. So first of all, before they even started school, I enrolled them in a day camp, just so that they'll meet friends and neighbors and they'll go into school not feeling like, I don't know anybody here. So we made sure to, get there at least a month and a half in advance so that they'll have that time to make friends and feel comfortable in the neighborhood, comfortable in their house and in their surroundings. So I found that, by the time they went into school, they already had a group of friends from camp and they were feeling very comfortable. That was a really good move. Also, when I moved in, I met some of my new neighbors, and I asked them when the kids weren't around. I said, hey, you have kids the same age. Maybe you want to ask them to come over, knock on the door, and invite my kids over to play, or to come to our house to play. And that way, my kids will start getting to know the neighbors, and they feel comfortable, and they're like, hey, kids want to play with us. So it's always good to help your kids out a little in that area. Something else I really did, which was really successful for the older kids, was not to cut them off from their old friends. We moved far away from their old friends and they weren't able to see them on a consistent basis. So, of course, they being able to email and Skype and FaceTime, but at the same time to not feel like they're cut off from ever. I arranged the first summer that we were away that they'd be able to go back. My 2 older daughters went back. So they, went to camp with their friends and they were able to, reconnect, and they didn't feel like they were completely cut off. And the following summer, we actually had some friends come here. And that way, they felt like, hey, I've got my new friends here, but I'm also not cut off from my old friends. It's so important for them. Letting the kids to, pick out just some of the simple technicalities, like the color of their, the walls in their room or their furniture. That also, I felt like it made them feel like really good about their room because they loved it because they're the ones that picked it. That was a good move. Another idea was I found a program that had mentoring, like they call it like a big sister or big brother, and they, they had older teenage girls come and like college age, and they came, each girl had her own, and they would come in the afternoon or in the evening and just either take them out or talk to them in their room or go for a walk or play a sport together or sometimes go for ice cream, and just have that one-on-one time with another adult-like figure in their life was really great, especially since the program that we happened to use was amazing. They found such great mentors, really sweet people, and they felt like, hey, this it was like a boost for them, an older familiar face coming to just talk and say how's it going, and it was really great for that one-on-one adult time for them. The technical side to moving, yes, technical, very important. So first of all, the first thing I'm going to suggest is to have an organized home. I know, easier said than done, I know. But even before you start packing, if you have time, months in advance, you're going to be moving, go around and do some spring cleaning in your house. Make sure that everything is containerized with labels on it, so that when you get to packing, it's so much easier because you know where everything is, and things you don't just open a drawer and like, oh no, like everything is falling out on you. That's not a good idea for moving. When you're moving, you want to have things super organized. Get rid of any excess, decluttering that you can do from your life is really amazing. I decluttered like you can't imagine when we were making this big move. For months in advance, I was decluttering, getting rid of clothing that I thought I'd save for younger kids, which I never did, and nobody ever wore them after that, and just, decluttering, giving away, getting rid of things that you don't need. That is top priority, and being organized. Second thing you need is lists. List building is very important. List of to-dos, list of what needs to be packed where, and then of course the master list of where everything is. Okay, so I had 3 different types of packing. We had the boxes that was getting shipped, we had the suitcases that were going under the plane, and we had the carry-ons that we were packing for each person. Now, since I was traveling with 8 children, this was a big process, as you can imagine. So I had, for each of those groups, I had a different full master list, okay? So for the boxes, each box was numbered or lettered, and I knew exactly what was going in every box, and each box was specific to a room or to a child or to something specific like, the kitchen, or extra, winter coats that we're not using right now. And everything was labeled on the box, and also we have a master list so that we know that box A has these contents, box B has these contents, okay? Then I did the exact same thing when it came to suitcases. Each suitcase had our name in big written on it. We actually use duffel bags because duffel bags are lighter, so you can put more in it and not being overweight. And also they're less expensive to buy. So we had a lot of them, and we bought duffel bags, and each one had our name and it had a big number on it. So there was, we had 1 to, I think, 24. Don't judge. And because each of us were taking, I think, 3 bags, and anyway. So for each of those numbers, I had a full list of everything, every item that was in the suitcase, so that we knew if, oh my goodness, we needed something, we knew, oh, go look it up. Okay, it's in suitcase number 18. Where's 18? And then we knew how to find it. It was much easier to deal with, not only in the packing process, in the in-between process, and then in the unpacking process also. And then last but not least, we had the carry-ons. So each carry-on had a letter, okay? We had the check-ins had numbers and the carry-ons had letters, and each one again had a list of every single item that was in the bag. That is really important to be super organized when you're moving, especially if you're moving with a lot of children, especially if you're moving in a long distance, not somewhere else in your city, and especially if you're doing it as a single mom. Always leave extra padding. What I mean by this is if you estimate that you have, let's say you have 3 months to do this, estimate that you want to be done in 2 months or in 2 months and a week. Don't leave it to the last minute, because something might happen, like happened to us, that we went off to visit my parents in Toronto, and while we were gone, there was a major sewer backage that affected thousands of homes in Michigan, and all of our neatly packed duffel bags were sitting so nicely in the basement floor, right across the whole basement, were all completely flooded. Ah! So it took us some extra time to unpack, wash, throw out, rebuy, repack. It was, to say a disaster, I mean, it's putting it lightly, but yeah, it was a big job. So it's always good to leave yourself padding, extra time in case something comes up that, you need to do something extra, or even the fact that you think you're gonna get such and such done on a certain day, but your kids don't allow. This one's having a temper tantrum and that one's having a, some other issue, or someone gets sick. Leaving yourself padding is very important. The most important thing is to stay positive. Stay positive, upbeat, and aware. Notice your kids' moods, notice when they need some extra TLC and when they need a conversation or just to open those lines of communication. But the more positive you're gonna be about this move, the more excited, the more upbeat, the more expressive of your feelings, the more your kids are gonna feel the same. They're gonna also express their feelings. They're also gonna be upbeat and excited because whatever your mood is, it's contagious. You set the tone in your home. Do you need to be a miracle maker in order to make a move? No, I wouldn't say so, but you know, after some of the moves I've done, I maybe call myself a miracle maker, Mom.